Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm here with Gary Jacob, producer of Abbey Road on the River. Hey Gary, how's it going?
Hi, Melissa. How are you today?
Pretty good.
What are you?
Where am I? I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. Where are
Oh,
you?
I'm on the computer, and it's Thursday, October 8th, I think, and we're getting ready for John Lennon's 80th birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, are you excited?
I
Is
am. Well, I'm excited in the sense that we've known him for so long, and that he's
yeah,
been such a great part of all of our lives for so long. But
yeah,
I
isn't
am
it?
I am melancholy about many things.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, should we talk about um, the festival this year? What do you want to say?
Well, yeah, I would like to, say that how sorry I am that we did not get to do a few festivals this year. We had
Right.
one planned for May, which was it was on its way to being maybe our best one ever. We certainly had an amazing talent lineup.
We had big plans.
We had big plans, and we were selling a lot of tickets, and we had a lot
Mhm.
of sponsorships, and everything was really going along
We had
swimmingly, as
Tommy
they
James, of
Tommy
all
Jane,
people,
Little River Band, The Circle.
and
We were going
Lawrence
to do the
Schubert.
lunch show. We had a lot going on, and the whole
Yeah,
kids' family activities that we had planned
yeah,
were going to be wonderful. And then we had Long Island, which was this gift that fell into our laps back in November, and
yeah.
we quickly put together that relationship with the Tilla Center for the Performing Arts and Long Island University. And you were there. You know how nice it was. It
It
was
was
going to
nice.
be a great event.
It
And we
was.
had the concert for John set for the new Paris Town Concert Hall in
Hmm.
Louisville. And that is one of the prettiest concert halls, clubs in the region, brand new, owned by the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts.
Yeah, that
And
would have
then
been really amazing. Who do we? And we had Tim Piper was going to come for that.
Tim Piper was going to headline it. Yeah, it was
So
one of those things. We were
we
stopped
had
in our
a
tracks like everybody else that's watching. All of
right.
our bands, all of our staff, all of our fans,
Yeah,
all of our sponsors, our hotels.
musicians. Yeah,
It's and the disappointment is that as a nation, we still haven't figured it out. And I'm not suggesting that it should have been completely figured out. I think I can be academic enough to know that this is a worldwide problem that did not just come to our shore. And I do realize that in all the other countries of the world, they have not fully come back either. But, I grew up when we put somebody on the moon. And I still believe in the technology and the innovation and the greatness of this country and its ability to fight its adversaries. And without going too deep into history, that's what we've always been the best at. That's why America is exceptional. That's why the rest of the world looks to us.
hmm
And we failed in our initiative to be the best at this. And now it's set us all back. And everybody that we know who makes music for a living, are actors for a living, are in any form of entertainment or hospitality or food service,
production.
production, have seen their careers derailed for now. So, you know,
Yeah,
I'm melancholy about that. And then, you asked me how I was feeling, and I got a little tear in my eye just thinking about this whole thing. But John, his assassination. Not that I had planned to start with that, but it was such a jolt. And it really was one of those moments that is a tear in the fabric of time. He should still be here. We've often talked about it, you and I. We know that, Elvis died far too young, and
yeah,
so many others have.
yeah.
John is the only one that was shot down in cold blood on the streets in front of his wife at a moment when he had so much to offer.
Right.
He was just he was creatively, he was exploding.
Yeah.
And,
And this is interesting because this year would mark his the 40th. He's been gone as long as he's been alive this year. He's been gone 40 years and he lived 40 years.
no,
So that's really something crazy to wrap your head around.
and he still feels like he's here, right in the room. That when we put on his songs, they're as fresh, as relevant as anything that's being made today. I don't want to take anything away from the Beatles, obviously, because I am a huge Beatles fan and I can't get over their body of work. But John's solo work, it's really astounding. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week when so many of our musicians are going to perform it for us.
Yeah.
And I know we're planning to have a conversation with Hal Bruce and Andy Forgy and Mark Rashad and Peter Conrad about John Lennon.
Yeah, with Joe Johnson.
Yeah, they're going to have some great insight. That's going to be really exciting to hear how they take it on.
It is.
But, John, I want to talk a little bit about John's role in my life and John's role in the event. Am I interrupting you too much?
No, go for it. Yeah. What does John mean to an event producer?
This is a normal day for us, right?
You just talk at me and there we go.
I don't, John, I can't remember if I singled John out during Beatlemania. It was like all four of them just exploded at the same time, and I loved them all equally. And it depended which song I was listening to. But if it was Help or Nowhere Man or one of John's songs, I instantly, loved John. Certainly, I probably played the White Album for almost a year straight every night. And funny enough, I still don't know the lyrics to any songs because, as you know, I can't memorize lyrics. But I was obsessed with that album. I was obsessed with Abbey Road too, but I was especially obsessed with the White Album. And to me, the White Album, even though While My Guitar Gently Weeps is the giant song of the album, I guess. John's influence on that album is just everywhere throughout it.
It is,
So, I was... And his many faces, they all changed their faces, but nobody changed their face quite like John. He had a perfect face.
A perfect face?
Yeah, he was just, an extremely handsome guy.
He could pull off any hairstyle, any facial hair, yeah.
When he went for the full beard Jesus look, not everybody can pull that look off. I mean, George did too, but, John had a particular continence about him.
Yeah. But what do you, as an event producer though, when you look at bands, you always compare what they do to a specific John song, don't you?
Well, for years, I would tell them to send me Help and Nowhere Man. If I could hear the harmonies in Help and Nowhere Man, then I knew the band was good. And I could hear it in 5 seconds. And, we were, in the early days, we would get maybe 100 or more audition tapes a year. I kind of, several years ago, kind of like dampened it down. People started realizing that we've got these residence bands now that have become, I don't like calling them house bands, residence bands who play with us every year.
The usual.
Whether Myers, Steve Sizemore, Union Jack, and our headliners, All You Need Is Love, the Newbies, Brit Beat, etc. We just have this great roster of bands, and so we're not changing as much anymore. Even though the Black Ties, definitely when they sent us their audition tape, and I'm sure hoping we're going to see them in May, they checked all.
You're going to see them this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because weren't they going to? They were going to come to Abbey Road on the Island and Abbey Road on the River this year or next year, right? So we had to cancel on them a couple times. But let's, should we move around?
I want to say that with John and, I talked a little bit about his looks, but when we started Abbey Road on the River, immediately we found a band called Working Class Hero, Tim Piper and Working Class Hero. I'm not sure if they were the first band that we booked, but they may have been in the first couple of bands we booked. Probably 1964 was the first band we booked. At the time, they were the gold standard for lookalike bands. We booked Hard Day's Night, who was a local band out of Northeast Ohio, who still plays with us today. Mm-hmm. But we found Tim Piper, and we built the event that year around two things. The passing of George, which had happened in November, and our event was in August of
in November of 2001, and this event happened in August of 2002.
And the fact that we had stumbled onto this amazing John Lennon impression show, and Shannon, the great artist Shannon, had offered us a beautiful portrait of John Lennon to unveil at the opening of that event. So we had all the stars were aligning. But anyways, Tim Piper and Working Class Hero, in my opinion, made the event great. Had they not been part of those early years, I don't know where Abbey Road on the River really would have gone, or if it would have continued. Wow. And that doesn't take anything away from All You Need Is Love or Hal Bruce or many of the other bands who were there in those early days doing phenomenal things. But Tim was the star, and everybody was mesmerized when they would see him do John Lennon. We were he knew how to recreate the essence of John Lennon. Mm-hmm. And then they were, highly spiritual moments for all of us.
Right. So you kind of owe John Lennon the success of this festival.
Yeah, I think so. I do. I don't think it would have worked the same way with any of the other three Beatles. We had a concert for John in Cleveland in for the 35th anniversary in 2005. Yeah, for the 25th anniversary of his loss. We had an all-day concert for John at the Agora Theater in Cleveland. And anybody that was there will tell you that something happened that day. And we all had the same feeling at the same time. And we all know that the room got filled by a spirit. That's as far as I can go with it. But it was we all experienced the same thing at the same time after 12 hours of John music.
Wow. That's incredible.
And in my house, I've got John Lennon art, but I've always had John Lennon art. I don't have art of the other Beatles. And as you know, I sing beautiful. I don't sing. I play Beautiful Boy for my grandsons. Any night that I put them to bed, and they're living with me now, so I put them to bed a lot, we play Beautiful Boy. And it's, when we get to the point of your Baba's here, da, 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 I don't know the words ever unless I'm singing.
You've heard it over and over and you don't know the words.
I listen to it every night and I'll laugh. I can't get the words. I can't sing Happy Birthday either.
But they really enjoy that. The kids like that.
Oh, it's the most soothing thing. And Sean, I was listening to Sean talk about it the other day on the Lost Lennon tapes.
Mm-hmm. Those are amazing.
Yeah. Oh, are they good?
Yeah.
I had the whole collection. Can I tell that story real quick?
Go for it.
I was in the early 90s. I was in New York working, and I was at Westwood One. And a friend of mine was now the general manager, production manager of the place. He had been an old Cleveland production manager. And the Lost Lennon tapes had aired every Sunday night for a couple of years, I think, on syndicated radio stations, like at 8, 9 o'clock at night. They'll put on shows, to fill airtime. And the Lost Lennon tapes was a huge, successful, syndicated show. So we were talking about it, and I was telling him that Lost Lennon tapes was my all-time favorite show I had ever listened to, that I never missed it. And he goes, "Oh, really? Look over there." And I look in the corner, and he's got these boxes of untouched albums. And he said, "Those are them. You want them?" And I said, "What do you mean want them?" He said, "I'll give them to you. I'm cleaning up my office." So I left there that day with mint condition, never played, the whole collection of the Lost Lennon tapes.
Yeah. And you couldn't get those anywhere else. You couldn't ever
No,
hear it
you couldn't
unless
get
it was
them.
aired on the radio. So that
Unless
was
somebody
big.
waited. And I don't know where they are.
Oops.
That's all I can say on that.
Thank God for podcasts now, and we can just
they lived with
look
me
it up
for
and
about
listen to
20. They lived with me for about 20 years at least, and now I don't know where they are. I feel like I gave them to somebody, but wherever they are, I'm sure they're in good hands.
That was a great gift, whoever got those.
You know, I do that sometimes. I just blindly give things away. I don't want it. You take it.
Yeah, you were probably
Anyway.
cleaning out your office and gave them away.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that's what John would have wanted. Pass it forward. You know.
Right. You'd think.
So yeah, beautiful boy. Sean was saying on the Lost Lennon tapes that he believes his dad wrote that song for every father to sing to all of their sons, and in my case, grandsons. But he was so generous in the way he explained it. And at the time, I think he was 12 years old when he was telling
Sean was 12 when he was saying that.
He was telling the story and being generous with the fact that he'd said, Dad meant this for all dads to sing to their sons when they go to bed at night. And he was telling them a story and to make sure that they took his hand when they crossed the street. And life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And
that's a big statement for a 12-year-old. Instead of being like, yeah, my dad wrote me that song, he's like, every dad everywhere can enjoy that song. Or he wrote it for all fathers.
He understands what it's like to be the son of John Lennon, and always has. Mm-hmm. It's a heavy mantle to wear, and he's worn it well.
Yeah.
And Yoko, as the wife of John Lennon, has worn her mantle so well. She should not be forgotten. All the conversations this weekend about John.
Yeah.
You know, she is getting up there in years.
She is.
I don't know if she's well or not. I keep hearing maybe she's not, but let's hope she is.
Let's hope she is. Yeah.
She's a much
she's
better
quarantining.
Artist. I know you know what a great artist she was. You appreciate her.
Yeah, I'm a fan of her. Her books, Grapefruit, and her art, and her music, and yeah. I think watching that new documentary that came out, Above Us Only Sky, really put her role in perspective with John.
Yeah. How did you come to John Lennon? What brought you to John Lennon?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I discovered the Beatles at age 10 or 12 or something. George was always my favorite. But in recent years, John has become more of my favorite. I used to never like his solo music. I was like, it's not interesting. It's not melodic enough. And then I think as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate the lyrics more and really understand it better.
He can write some lyrics, couldn't he?
He can write some lyrics. Yeah. Yeah.
I think, you know, it's even better than Dylan and Springsteen in the sense that he could say more with less. You know, sometimes either one of them would have to go a little long in the tooth to get out these beautiful expressions. John knew how to cut to the core.
Yeah, he was quick like that.
Like Give Me Some Truth and Working Class Hero, Instant Karma. Right. You know, those aren't complicated lyrics, but they sure are deep.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah. Well, do you want to talk about what do you think if John was around today, what he would think of everything happening? I don't know if you want to get political or just like, you know, among the COVID and and the protests and the upcoming election.
Here's what I'll say about that. You know, the other day, one of our lookalikes said that he wasn't sure if John would have been an activist, because he wasn't an activist in his later years. His activism had been primarily contained to a period of 68 to 72 or 3, or during the case of when the deportation hearings ended. I think the deportation hearings ended around 75. But to put that in perspective, Vietnam ended in 75. So John's job was done being an activist for the time being. And the civil rights movement in America had calmed down quite a bit. We were mature in 75 as a nation. Jimmy Carter was elected in 76, and even though, you know, he was a one-term president, I'm listening to historians now talk about how significant that one term was because
Yeah.
of what he did do in foreign policy, and we were at peace. And yes, gas prices were high and oil prices were high, but things were good, and John was home raising a new baby. So why be an activist? Would he have gone these last 40 years now and not been speaking out? Of course he would have been. And just like Paul and Ringo have done with Black Lives Matter. I mean, Ringo's 80th birthday, I thought the underlying message from his birthday party was how many times he mentioned Black Lives Matter.
Mhm.
And, he was totally in tune with what was happening at that moment with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and others. And Paul continues to talk about how Blackbird was written, as his message about segregation in the South. And
Mhm.
and do I think that Paul could do more? I do. But Paul can do whatever he wants to do. And far be it from me to advise Paul on what he should be saying publicly. But Paul has a lot of people that listen to him.
Mhm.
And I think if and when he's ready, he will. But, and back to John, I'm a romantic. I saw my president get shot down. I saw my next president, who was going to be his brother, Bobby, get shot down. I saw Martin Luther King get shot down. I saw John get shot down. All my heroes have been killed. And so in order for me to live in the body I live in with that loss, which is so tremendous, I doubt a day goes by where I don't think of John F. Kennedy, and of course John, because his pictures are all around my house. But
Mhm.
but to think that idealism, that what we lost, and I do think that John would have been the voice of the generation, just like he was. There was no reason he would have stopped.
Yeah.
So it's a huge loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess this weekend, when we listen to his music so much, we'll rejoice that we knew him. But
Right. Celebrating. Yeah. And we have that candlelight vigil going on tomorrow so that we can remember his life. I wanted to talk about how we're raising money for our bands. And then I want to get into 2021 if you're okay with that.
Yeah, if people are still watching. Is anybody still watching?
I don't know.
I think it's going well.
I may, probably. That's okay. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so let's just get into 2021. What are the plans for next year?
Well, all systems go from May 27th to the 31st. I think you can see it behind me. I don't know how this.
Move over a little bit, then you can see
Okay.
the date. There you go.
31. There we go.
That's
And there's a storm coming in from Kansas.
What is behind you? Is it really just a green screen?
It is a green screen.
You can't see what we can see. That's
It is
kind
a
of funny.
green screen, isn't it?
Mine
funny?
is just a sheet.
My house is a television studio for Brooke and KJ, who have a regular web series that they put out every week, and they teach classes to small children in theater and drama, and it's pretty set up.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I don't get down too much. I stay out of their area. Anyways, so we've already booked a band that we had in 2016 who many people think was put on one of the best shows we've ever had at Abbey Road on the River. And subsequently, they've been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that is the Zombies. And we're very excited to have the Zombies back.
Yeah.
Everything is tempered by the fact that when we do get to May, outdoor events, big events again, are still going to be a challenge. We're betting on the fact that testing is going to be better, that the infection rates are going to drop, and that proper social distancing outside, wearing masks, is effective. And at this point, I'm not willing to believe anything other than the fact that we can do it. I thought we could have done it this weekend. I'm very disappointed. We should right now be doing sound checks on the stages. And I was so excited to do the October event because the weather, as you know, is going to be gorgeous all weekend.
Mhm.
And people would have really been ready. And we should have been ready as a nation, but I already had that conversation. Anyways, we've got the Fab Four. And the Fab Four is way more than the Fab Four because it's Gavin Pring's Fab Four. Now, the other guys in the band wouldn't want me calling it Gavin Pring's Fab Four, but they all know what Gavin means to Abbey Road on the River. I mean, he's been at Abbey Road on the River since the very, very beginning when he was a member of British Export and had just moved to the States from Liverpool. He met his wife at Abbey Road on the River.
That's big.
And he's performed as a solo artist at Abbey Road on the River probably 2 out of every 3 years since it's been going on. And you know, everybody, you know, loves Gavin, and they've only been at Abbey Road on the River once, and that was I think it was in 06.
That's how long it's been?
Yeah.
Wow.
We had a major storm. It was either 06 or 07.
Mhm.
And it was on Sunday. We had a major, major storm, and we almost didn't get them on. And there was a lot of confusion because of the storm and getting things fixed back up to everybody's liking. And I'm sure their production manager remembers it better than I do. And I think it's the same production manager. I think his name is Mick. And hopefully he'll refresh my memory of all the craziness of that day. But and I think Gavin, now here's the thing that I could be wrong on too. I'm not even sure Gavin played with them then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How
so somebody listening.
Been at the festival though? How else would he have
Gavin was with British Export in Cleveland for the first 2 years, I guess, 4 and 5. Or no, 2 and 3. And then I think he must have moved away and British Export replaced him with another George. So, yeah, well, anyways, others will fill in.
Who else
do we have
next year?
But the Fab Four
with Gavin
is arguably right now the premier look-alike Beatle band in the world. They've been featured on PBS. They've had residencies, long residencies in Las Vegas. They're doing a streaming show every week now that draws thousands, you know, during the shutdown. And the last time I saw them was at the Hollywood Casino in Columbus. Within maybe 5 years ago, I think. I was driving home from Louisville and I stopped to see them. And it was mind-blowing. I mean, as somebody who puts on Beatle bands all the time, and then you see this one, and you suddenly realize that they have captured everything so perfectly, and their attention to detail. You know, but I love our resident lookalike bands too. I will just say for a moment that Hard Day's Night and Britbeat have been phenomenal for many, many years, and Britbeat just keeps getting better and better. You know, Elon, Jeff, and Chris are as good as it gets. So they'll be there. I hope they'll be there next year, and we'll have All You Need Is Love, and we'll have the Newbies and Hal Bruce, and we're waiting for our international bands to get the green light to be able to come back to the States. But I did just see something encouraging the other day that Juan Jade was telling me that his son was on his way to Boston to visit family that lives in Boston. And I asked him how that was working out. And he said travel is open between Colombia and the USA, but there's a 14-day quarantine. And so my thinking on that right now is, okay, we'll deal with that as we get closer, but at least they're able to travel.
It's open, right?
Opening, and let's hope for our friends all in Europe that the same will be true, and we can get all or most of them in the States.
We're hoping, but we'll get to see Classic Stone this weekend. They're going to do a live stream for us.
That'll be great. I'm excited to see that. I know everybody's excited to see that.
Yeah.
Classic Stone always surprises to the upside.
Yeah.
They always do something better than the
They
time
do.
before.
They do. That's true.
We're lucky that we got to know them.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're also raising money for our bands too this week. So I have a raffle prize down here that I want to show just in case people
Good.
want to see it. Hang on, I can't reach it. So our bands have been out of luck this year, as we have also. But so we're gonna hold this raffle. This thing's really heavy. We're holding a raffle, so anyone who donates to the band fund on the website will be entered to win one of many prizes, but this is the biggest, grandest prize.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. Okay.
So tell the story of how you found that. I think that's an instant karma kind of story.
Yeah, instant karma got me.
Yeah. Is it what did you?
It was just at a shop with a mask in
Well,
Georgetown,
where were you?
Kentucky.
Yeah, you were
Georgetown?
painting
Yeah.
up, just looking for somewhere to go last
Yeah.
week, right? 2 weeks.
I found the coolest shop in Georgetown. It had like painted stairs, and it was called Merkai Moon. There's a word that's like Merkasi or Merkai, and it means like crafty or artsy or something. So anyway, but it had like stairs painted with like moon and stars, and I was like, I gotta go into this shop. So I went in and I found it. I saw this on the wall by some local artist, and it was perfect because we had just started planning this virtual event, and it's like 3D, so you can see it's like,
Wow.
you can see that.
Was it framed when you bought it like that?
It was.
Yeah. Wow. This is beautiful.
So.
You know, you sent me a picture of it when you were getting ready to think about it.
Oh yeah, so you never really
I didn't see
saw
it like
the whole
that.
thing.
It's gorgeous.
She's got a sparkly hair. I like Yoko's sunglasses.
Yeah, I can't think of a better grand
like,
prize.
Oops. Yeah, and this will come with some other Beatles merch stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know how many. We'll give away a lot of prizes. I got a lot of stuff. So
how do you how are you going to do this? Did you tell me this is people who donate to the band fund get entered to win?
Yes. So anyone who I can hear the kids in the background. Anyone who enters or anyone who donates to the band fund, either on the ticket page or through PayPal, will be entered, and then I will do a live drawing on Saturday on Zoom after the Classic Stone show. So what just happened? It just bounced.
That's the whole set down.
Whoa. We're not used to this virtual stuff. No. Yeah.
As you know, I don't like virtual. Me and Jerry said I do not like virtual.
Yeah. We're hoping that we don't have to do this next year. But you know what? It's new and it's fun, and we get to talk to people and they get to see us chat. So at least we kind of get to like create a connection with our Beatles community, because they've been out all their Beatle events. And I know there's a lot happening this weekend for John Lennon's birthday, but you know, we're trying to raise money for the bands, keeping the money, and then we're going to distribute it among the bands, rather than donating.
When we did virtual Abbey Road in May,
yeah,
we raised a little over $10,000, I think. Does that sound right? I think that number.
Was it that much?
Yeah, and all the bands, plus there was a separate tip jar for Classic Stone, Jukebox, and All You Need Is Love for presenting their own original shows. And they did really well, but that was between the guests, the fans, and them. But all of our bands got several $100s, and all of our staff got several $100s. And and I'm hoping, I don't expect that we'll do as much this weekend. It's been tough times for everybody.
Right.
But this whole thing that you're all hearing about stages starting to be in danger of closing around the world is about as serious a problem as, you know, you can imagine, that the arts are collapsing like this.
Right.
And we know about the National Independent Venue Association that we belong to.
Mhm.
And clubs in the area like Headliners are really struggling, and all the great places in Louisville that we all love. But we thought it would be best if whatever could be donated went directly to our performers and our staff, who have really been, as you said, knocked for a big jolt.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we're a family, and as a family, we have to all try and help each other through this.
Yeah. We're doing our part, trying to keep everyone afloat and keep everyone happy. Because that's what event producers do. They want to make people happy, right?
I've been doing it for a long time, 40 years.
40 years.
40 years. Yeah. So I'm, maybe I'm not as melancholy now at the end of the call as I was in the
There you
beginning.
go. See, maybe people watching this will also feel happier because we kind of turned it around.
We have to get through it. I have been thinking a lot about how your generation, my daughter's generation, and my grandchildren, you're all going to be okay. It is going to be okay. It may take a little bit longer than everybody had hoped for.
Yeah.
But it will be okay.
Life goes on. Obla di obla da.
Yeah. And there'll be new things. If you look at life in 75-year blocks, and you think about all the people from between 1945 and 2020, the world was the modern world that came out of World War II.
Right.
It was the nuclear world, the television world. And that's basically, we lived in this very compact world from 45 to 2020. But then if you go back 75 years before 1945 to 1870, and you see 1870 and 1945, you go from horse carriages to automobiles. I mean, and to talking pictures. It was a complete new world for them.
Right.
And
Pretty soon we'll have flying cars.
I was telling the boys that yesterday. We were on our way down to the Science Museum, and I said, you will, by the time you are adults, you will fly with a jetpack. You will absolutely have a jetpack. And they kept saying, what's a jetpack? You're going to like it. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And so between now, 2020 to 2095 is going to mean something else for us. And
2095. Can you even imagine? Abbey Road on the River 2095. What's it going to look like?
Kentucky Derby's been going on for 150 or 60 or 70 years. So maybe there'll be people like you and my grandsons.
Horses haven't changed much.
That'll keep it going for horses are the same. But the Beatles will still be here in 500 years too. So
yeah,
it's there was something else I thought we wanted to talk about. I don't remember. We covered 2021 pretty well.
John Lennon 75. That's the only other thing I have.
Well, we did John Lennon 75 years ago.
So we're going to show that Tim Piper show tomorrow.
Yeah, and isn't there another one you have from?
Yeah, there's a couple from that weekend, from Abbey Road on the River 2015.
I feel like the New Bay 9 Jay Gepner concert is like
that's going to happen Saturday.
It's like the lost concert. I was stunned when we found that in the
amazing.
pile.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Jay Gepner with New Bay 9. Yeah, I'm going to show that Saturday night.
It was one of the best shows at Abbey Road on the River, and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And when we
have a lot of archived videos, so what are we gonna do with those? Do we have a plan yet? We're gonna try to bring people shows once a week.
We're gonna put them in a vault in Utah and save them for the new millennium. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to do shows once a week and bring some of them back.
Yeah.
What about the one final thought, if I can get to a final thought, is you were going to do on your on the candlelight. Oh, I did want to say that you have been producing this whole virtual event, and that I have done nothing more than what's going on right now. And so thank you very much for doing it. Because if the fans like it, it's you that they owe the thanks to, because I did not want
Abbey Roads. You didn't, you don't even like doing this virtual stuff.
I'm virtually exhausted.
It's hard to look at a screen all day, but no, I'm excited to do this, and Thank you.
I was watching the iHeart Music Festival for a few minutes last night, but then I couldn't keep watching it. But I do want to go back and watch it. Alicia Keys had opened it, and it actually did look great.
Yeah.
So maybe
maybe you'll come around to it. Our event in May went over so well. I figured we had to do something to keep spirits up.
I think the Classic Stone show in May was world class.
Yeah.
It was unlike anything
It was
anybody
amazing.
at that point had seen.
Yeah.
Nobody had seen anything that good.
Yeah.
And here we were, just this little festival in the middle of Nowhereville, and we put on the best virtual concert of all.
We should replay that maybe next week or something.
Yeah, but if the sound isn't perfect.
Oh, well, we got to
remember what happened.
Hopefully there's no technical difficulties this weekend.
Sebastian will be calling us and saying, pull the plug. Sebastian, I hope you heard that.
I wonder if he's watching.
Yeah.
We got a full weekend of music and bringing Beatles. But I also just wanted to do this because I'm in the Beatle community and I love the Beatles. So we were going to move Abbey Road on the River to this weekend and have our John concert. So it's like, we got to do something, especially for John. And so part of this weekend
is a chance again for everybody to know
my Beatle outlet on.
Of all the staff that's ever been associated with this event, you are the number one Beatles fan. And that has been the best part of it.
I do love the Beatles.
You know the Beatles, you love the Beatles, you understand their music. How many times I've asked you how they played certain songs, or to explain to me the musical parts, because you're a cellist and you're a pianist and you're a guitarist. So it's, and to see your generation so influenced by them.
Yeah. I mean, they're timeless.
So, all right, you've been loving them since you're 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's the common age that so many people got into the Beatles. Either you saw them on TV at that age in middle school, high school, or like you just rediscovered them in a different decade, but
it's amazing at our event with the playground when you see so many, people in their 30s with their young children, their 4- and 5-year-old children. And we've totally transitioned to a new demographic to complement, not replace, but complement people of my age. When it started back in 2002, never imagined for a minute that we would be seeing people who at the time were 10 years old, that they'd still be coming in their 30s and bringing their children.
Right.
And that's the power of the Beatles, period, paragraph.
Yeah. That's it, the power.
People give us a lot of credit, but at the end of the day, it's that music is what draws people.
It's all the Beatles. Yeah. That's why
the fact that all of our bands have chosen to perfect the music of the Beatles is because they realize that that's the best music to play, and they've all become so good at it.
Yeah, and they're fans, and it's fun to play for them too.
Well,
so
we've been
thanks for talking. I know, it's been a while. Is anyone still watching? Who knows?
I've got to get back to Trump TV. You've got to let me go see.
You got to go.
The virus has infected them anymore yet. No, I have to take care of kids. Is right.
Yeah.
And I got to continue to work on my Weight Watchers diet.
Very important. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Hey, listen, everybody. If I don't get a chance, I do want to say to the fans of Abbey Road on the River that you're the best. You've carried me through this from the beginning. I don't know why. I don't know how. I guess because we just said because of the Beatles. But thank you for being such good friends to all of us. And we'll see you soon.